Hattie and I am back with another speed build. This time we're going to be building a camper van. I think that's what it's called. But yeah, this is going to be for my Let's Play with the Pomegranates, and this particular camper van is going to be belonging to Tasmin Kingsley. And if you're not sure who Tasmin Kingsley is, she is the Queen Mean Girl in my Let's Play. And I would imagine that maybe her father has bought her this because she is a little bit spoilt. She does get everything that she wants, and maybe she'd just want one. I don't know. It also would make sense because in the last part, in part 13, this is currently at the stage where we are at part 13, Tasmin has had a few problems with the Gothic Nightmares, and they actually live next door to this plot, so that could potentially be really interesting as well, because then it really could be a feud, and I would imagine that maybe that would be what would happen. Maybe it could be the opposite. Maybe they could actually make up in the end. I honestly have no idea what is going to happen. But anyway, what I was doing at this point is I was sorting out the wheels. I actually found the things that we got from Get to Work, the industrial type screws. They made pretty good wheels, and I added some windows to them in the end too. But it was very difficult to find windows, things that would go on the wall which would resemble little wheels, because I don't think that we have anything like a wheel in The Sims 4 yet, and I don't think that we'll be getting cars very soon. In fact, I would be surprised if we do get cars. To be honest, I don't know. Maybe they'll just be like statues, something like that you just put on the driveway, but nothing that you can actually interact with. I just can't imagine that happening yet. But anyway, what I was doing is I was trying to sort out the front because it was annoying me because you can't actually have a diagonal staircase, and I found that so difficult to cope. So I actually had to put the staircase around the back of the building. And this little camper van as well, it doesn't even have a steering wheel or anything inside it. And the idea is that it's just going to get dragged along, or towed along rather, by the car. So there is going to be a car in front of it. I couldn't find anything to join the two up with because I really just couldn't. I couldn't find anything which would resemble a rope or anything, so I don't even know what you use. What do you use to tie a car to a camper van? I have no idea. I actually think it's a little bit of metal underneath the car and potentially connecting the camper van together. I don't know. But anyway, this was the door around the back, so that is a pretty unusual thing to do for a van. But yeah, I thought it was nice, and I like the idea of having this stationery, so that would make sense as well. It's supposed to look a little bit bohemian. I didn't actually want to use the same park as I used, I think maybe in part 4 or 5, which was a bohemian cinema park, as much as I really liked that. Sometimes it's really nice to have a change, something really different and unique, and it just gives a new slant on things, and I thought this would be perfect. So it is going to be very similar to that in the way that it is going to have an outdoor cinema, etc., but it's going to be a fun venue because they can actually stay here. The teenagers can have a party here, they can have a night spent here, etc., and they can come here whenever they want. So it is going to be a residential plot as well, because I have had some problems in the past with making a plot maybe generic or into a nightclub or a lounge or something like that. People just turn up, and I don't understand why that happens, and if anybody knows how I can turn that off, please let me know, because I haven't seen any comments yet which have said actually you can turn it off by doing this thing, because I really wanted to have an exclusive venue without using the doors which you need to use, because it's difficult if I'm not playing with a potential group. Like, for instance, if I was focusing on the Pomegranate family, it would be difficult to get involved with Team Bro because there's nobody that is from Team Bro in the family. But yeah, I'd love an exclusive venue just for the two groups, but it's just, I don't know, it's difficult, it's tricky. This was when I was focusing on the outdoor cinema bit, so I was putting some plants around it because I love the theme of pink and purple and blue and white plants. I just love it, and I really love the romantic stuff pack. I do, it's got so many pretty plants in, and it really helped me out with this build. And I think it did look really good by the end. I just love experimenting with different plants. I love trying new things when it comes to landscaping. Sometimes I get bored of particular styles, and it's always nice to try new things out, so I always try and do that. And of course, I was just putting more around. I did try to put as much landscaping into this plot as I could without cluttering up too much or making it unplayable, because I thought that this would be maybe the right amount. So yeah, you'll see that in a little bit. It does also have another area which isn't the camper van, it's actually a separate area which is going to be maybe a decking area. That's the best way I can think about it. Maybe it's just a private DJ area. I think the venue itself could look really interesting with the right people there, so I'm hoping that it will look really good in the LP, but we will find out. What I was doing is I was of course just putting a roofing on because I love outdoor buildings with roofs on. It just reminds me of a gazebo, like a built-in gazebo. I'm actually going to a wedding, I think maybe in a couple of months' time, and the people that are getting married are having an outdoor gazebo, so I'm really interested to see how that will look. I actually thought about getting a gazebo for my own wedding, and it was just really difficult to organise the whole thing because I actually went to a company and I said, okay, I'm interested, and they said, all right, what flooring do you want? What lights do you want? What attachment of kitchen do you want? And honestly, it would have just been so much hassle. And if one of the components didn't turn up, like for instance, the kitchen staff or the people that were fitting the lights in the place, it would be an absolute disaster. Having a wedding with no lights would just be awful, just with like candles and stuff. I don't know, especially if it's a big wedding. I think if it was a small wedding with maybe just close family and friends, it wouldn't be too bad. You could maybe have like a romantic candlelit night and it could be really cute. But I think for a venue which is supposed to be pretty big, yeah, it just couldn't have worked. But anyway, this was the centerpiece in the middle. I thought about doing something very, very confusing here, and it did actually end up very confusing. I had no idea what I wanted there, but I think that it was just too small, and I did go back and I put more rocks around it, and I actually ended up with a water feature, really strangely in the middle there, I think that's how it ended up. But it was something that I was definitely aware of that I wanted to correct. I finished off most of the landscaping before I went and did the caravan's interior, so you will see that very, very shortly. I was also extremely confused about what I wanted for the rocks on the floor there, because I didn't just want green grass, I wanted something which looked built in. I thought that pretty much everything I tried was either too plain or too industrial, and I didn't like it. So I think in the end what I did is I went for thinner paths, and I think that's what looked really good. I don't know, I tried a lot of different things out, I just wasn't happy, and it was a long process, it really was. Also trying to blend it all in is really, really tricky. But I think that maybe I was at an advantage with this particular plot, because on some of the parts of this plot it's actually faded into this creamy colour, and it did fade in eventually, and I think that that looks really nice towards the end, so you will see that. This was when I was doing the centerpiece, but nothing was really working, but I did leave the whole bit in. I love to leave the whole parts of things in to my builds, because I like it when people can say, well, actually, I really liked that before you took it out. And maybe sometimes when I take things out, that wouldn't have been necessarily the things that other people would have taken out. But it does mean that if you like those particular things, then you can try them on your own creations and you can do them, which is really cool. But yeah, so what I was also doing is I was putting around the green plant, which I always use. I love it so much and I use it for all my creations. I've really missed it because I haven't built in a really long time. And I don't know, I feel not like I'm bad going back to building, but just a little bit slower than I was before. A little bit slower than when I went before my wedding, because I was really, really quick then. The venue itself, I'm guessing, took me about 50 minutes. Which, let's be fair, 50 minutes would have taken me the time to build a 40 by 30 house or a 30 by 20. And yeah, so I guess a little bit behind at the moment, but we shall see. Hopefully, if I have a bit of practice and stuff, then yeah, I should be back to normal eventually. Anyway, this was the interior of the home. So this is going to be the part where they can get some snacks. If they're hungry, they can go to the toilets, and it's a place which you can use to sleep over at. I think that's really important for this venue, because as much as I liked the Bohemian cinema that I did a while ago, you just couldn't stay there. Or you could if you wanted to, but you'd have to camp out on the bench and it just wouldn't be good enough, I don't think. So I thought it'd be nice to have a fully functioning plot. And this would mean as well, if anybody from the Fakes or Team Bro ever needed to run away from their family, ever needed a break from certain people, then they could come here, and it would be really easy for them to adjust to this way of life because they've got everything here. It's all there. It's the luxury camping. It's glamping. I'm actually thinking about going glamping with my best friend's boyfriend, and my husband. We're all thinking about going, and hopefully we will. I can't remember where she said that there was a venue available to go at. I'm calling it a venue, but it's actually a holiday resort. I think it's in Cornwall. I don't know. I have no idea. Anyway, that's in England if you're not sure. But yeah, we're thinking about it. I think that this would be a really cool way to go on holiday. I don't know, it's really chilled, and I don't particularly like camping. I've had some really bad experiences in the past where the tent wasn't nailed down, it kept coming up in the night, and I was practically sleeping outside on the floor. Then I woke up with a snail on my face, and I was thinking to myself, oh my gosh, I need to get out of this situation. So I think I actually went from the place at probably about 6 a.m. in the morning just because I couldn't take it anymore. And yeah, that was my experience camping. But this is the luxury version. This was when I was arranging the tents, because it's really important to have sleeping areas that they can, of course, use. I don't know how many Sims fit in these sleeping areas. I didn't want to put 10 there because that would look ridiculous. So yeah, I just put 2 there in the end, and I'm hoping that that will sleep everybody, but of course I have no idea. But that is the end of the build, so I really hope you enjoyed it, and I hope to see you all for the Let's Play. Thank you so much for watching, and I will speak to you all soon.